Test, test. Hey, I'm not gonna And it's 7 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to start. That's when we start. It's right on time. And we've got people coming in. There's people watching online. And the way we do our parent-teacher orientations is we try to keep them short and sweet, just like me. All right? And anyway, but we're glad you're here. And this is just a great, it's going to be a great school year, I believe. And we've had some obstacles we're having to overcome, even still in the midst of all of it. And we'll explain that to you in a little bit. But we have a record enrollment in the school, 170 kids is where we are. And we have just been jumping back and forth. We'll get some and we'll lose some, and we'll get some and we'll lose some. And so we're right about 170 is where we are. And so excited about that. We have, for the first time, moved to our new property. We purchased land over on K Road back in 2017, December. We closed about the middle of December, and it was 15 acres of land out there, and we were able to purchase that. And so we've used it a little bit, but this is the first year that our 6th grade through 12th grade is going to be out there at that campus. So now we have 2 campuses, and so that's exciting for us. And so we've got a lot going on in both places. And so this has been just really a crazy summer for us. In the perspective of our summer camp, we had, I think, 70 what, Mrs. Brown? 75 children registered in our summer camp program. That's the most we've ever had in summer camp. So we had kids all on the building in the summertime here. And on top of it, we had the record enrollment in the school. And then on top of that, we've moved, and so it has just been crazy. I thought last summer was crazy with COVID. This summer, I think, has been worse. But thankfully, we're not, it's not the pandemic that's causing that. It's just the busyness of things. And so we have been very busy. We've hired more staff members this year than what we've ever done. So I was talking to a pastor and administrator today, and he was telling us his school's been around for years, and said, you have just as many students in your school than we do in ours. And his has been around since the 70s. And asked if we had all our teachers. I said, yeah, we do. And he was talking about how he didn't have all his yet. And so, boy, that's a scary thought right there, getting ready to start without all your teachers. And so, we're very thankful for what God's done for us. So we're thankful for you being here tonight. So let's pray together and ask the Lord to bless our time together tonight. God, we're so grateful for the opportunity we have to serve you. And Lord, thank you for these parents and family members that are here tonight in person and online. And God, I just pray that you would help us as we discuss things, we go over things about this new school year, that you would just give us wisdom and direction and guidance. And then, Lord, I pray for the school year that you would be with the students as they start the new school year, help them to be excited about the things this new school year and just all of the new things that are happening. And so, Lord, I pray that you give us a great year. Lord, watch over us and protect us. Keep us safe. Keep us healthy. As there's many people that are sick and that are even dying because of the virus. So, God, we just pray that you would keep our students and our staff and our families healthy and strong. And that, Lord, you'd watch over us. Bless our time together tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so what we'd like to do is I will go over several things in that we want to cover tonight. There's so much to cover. I used to take time to go over the handbook and highlight things in the handbook. We're not going to do that. I've just come to a point where we want to keep our meeting rolling and things like that. So we just highlight some of the major changes and go over things that we feel like is important to you. If you have any questions after each and after we introduce certain things, just please feel free to raise your hand and ask the questions about that. We want to make sure that you know what you're doing, your children are doing. And so even online, there may be questions that come online. So Brother Finkart, if there's a question that comes through online, he will notify me and he'll ask the question for the parent, and then we will answer that the best that we possibly can, okay? So that's how this kind of works. At this time, I'd like to introduce our teachers to you. I was going to have the teachers. I've told them I was going to have them come up and introduce themselves, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to introduce them to you for time's sake. And I figured if the number of teachers that we have, if each of them took a minute telling you about the class and all those things, that would take up quite a bit of time. And so for time's sake, we're just going to introduce those to you. They're up on the TV screens behind me, but we'll have them stand when we call their name as well. So one of our first teachers here is Caitlin Conley. She teaches the K3 and K4, and there she is. Caitlin's been teaching for us. This is going on her 4th year and has done a great job. She's just got big news. You know what the big news is? She has the Egyptian flu. You say, how's that good news? Well, she's going to be a mummy. Isn't that good? Give her a big hand. That's exciting. And so she's pregnant, and oh, man, I had a couple teachers, right? And last year I had to replace. So I'm excited for her and Garrett. That's a blessing to be able to have a child, but she is due in March. And so just pray for her. Pray that God will give her grace and strength and all that. But that's exciting for her. And so she's been here with us going on 4 years, and so we're thankful for her. The second one is another K4, K5 teacher. We had so many preschool kids come in this year. We had to make a change at the last minute. This is Mrs. McElroy. Mrs. McElroy, how many years have you been teaching? 9 years total. This is her first year here, and so we're excited to have her part of our team. But she's been teaching for 9 years. She's taught preschool, and this year she's teaching kindergarten, so preschool and kindergarten. And so she's got about half and half students there in the preschool and kindergarten. Give her a big hand and let her know you appreciate her. Mrs. Brown, stand up. She's back there in the back. She's teaching kindergarten this year, and she has been teaching for us for 4 years, going on 5, I believe it is, but has many years teaching in preschool, and this is her 3rd year, I think, teaching kindergarten for us, so we're thankful for her. Give her a big hand. We have Mrs. Albright. Mrs. Albright's up here in the front. Mrs. Albright's been teaching for many years as well. Been here for 5, going on 5, I believe, isn't it? 11 years teaching, going on 5 years here in our school, and we're very thankful for Mrs. Albright and her knowledge that she brings and the help that she brings. But she came in teaching, I think, 2nd and 3rd grade, then 1st and 2nd grade. Now we have the last 2 years just teaching 1st grade, and that's a blessing, by the way. All of our elementary classes are now, we have all individual classes. We're no longer combined grades where we had 1st and 2nd together, 3rd and 4th together, that type of things. We have 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, right on up. So we're excited about that. So Mrs. Albright has been teaching 1st grade for a few. 2nd grade, we're thankful for her being here with us. And then Amanda Crilly. Amanda, she's right here. Amanda, this is her 2nd year. Give her a hand. Her 2nd year of teaching for us, and she was an assistant teacher before, worked with Mrs. Albright, worked with Caitlin, and now she's taught on her own for the last 2, this will be her 2nd year doing that. Last year, she's doing 3rd grade this year. She taught 2nd grade last year. Some of these kids should be thankful. I mean, they had Miss Crilly last year for 2nd grade. Now they get her again for 3rd grade. And so they just loved Miss Crilly, I believe that. And so they get her again. I'm sure some of them were hoping they'd get Mrs. Albright again. I don't know. But we didn't do it that way. But we have another one. This is Brother Scott Finkart. And this is Brother Josh's dad, Scott. He came in January, took Mrs. Hatfield's class, had some big shoes to fill, but did just an awesome job in the 3rd grade class. His 3rd graders loved him so much that we moved him up to 4th grade. And so that's another one. Give him a big hand for being with us. We have a new teacher, and this is Brother Matt. Brother Matt is here with us. He'll be doing 5th grade this year, so we're excited about that. Give him a big hand. We also have some other teachers that have returned for us. Miss Christie has been here since 2014, teaching for us. That long? 2016. So give her a hand. She started in the elementary, and then she's moved on up to 6th grade primarily. The last few years has done that, along with teaching some other junior high classes. But we started her, I think, in kindergarten, 1st grade, K4, K5, and 1st grade, I think is what your first year you taught. So back then, 16, we had 3 grades together. So you can see the growth that we've had just through the years. My oldest teacher that I have, not oldest in age, but the one with the most seniority is in the back there. That's Mallory back there, Miss Mallory Humphrey. She's been teaching here from the very beginning, 2012, when we started the school. She's taught for us all these years. She's put up with me all these years. Can you believe that? But we're very thankful for her. She teaches our upper maths and science. I need her because they're hard to find. Those upper math and science teachers does an awesome job. Give her a big hand for teaching for us. We have Mr. G. Brother Garrett was here. Connolly was here last year, first year. Has taught for many years. Actually was a missionary. And so for a year, I think, weren't you? In Ireland, and then he came back to the States, taught in a Christian school in North Carolina. Met this girl, and Caitlin from up here, and she reeled him in, got him to be here in Delaware. And boy, I was thankful for that. But he's been teaching for us. This will be his second year. So did we give you a hand already? If not, let's give him a hand. All right? And we have the last two that we'd like to introduce to you. I think that's covering all the teachers. But we have Brother Josh Finkart. Brother Josh is back in the back on the computer. He's been here since full-time since 2018 in the school, teaching high school classes. He's doing English this year. But he also has worked into a place of being our assistant principal in the elementary. So we're very thankful for that. So give him a big hand. If you have any problems, you can contact him, and if you have elementary students. And then a new one that we brought on this year. And we're really trying to make things confusing for you because we have two Finkarts, two Mr. Finkarts, and now we have two Mr. Whites, all right? So we're trying to confuse you. But this is Brother Justin White over here. And Brother Justin White has come to us originally from New York, then went to Ghana, West Africa, then came back to New York and taught in the school and was assistant pastor in the church, and then went to Missouri and worked in a school there, and then he came here to good old Delaware. We got him here. Him and his wife are here, and they have 6 children, and so we're excited about him being here with us as well. He is going to be working. He's our assistant principal in our junior high and senior high. So I tell you, I'm excited about all this because we now have 2 assistant principals. They're there to help me because some of you have been here. Jessica, you may have. I don't know. Let me see. Jessica. Have you been here the longest, Jessica, in the room? Probably. Your children have been here maybe the longest. But you guys remember when it was just me, right? And now we have, you've seen the school grow, and that's just a blessing. It's just exciting to be able to have the Whites here, Brother Justin here with us, Brother Josh. And so if you have questions or anything, you have students in junior high and senior high, you need to speak to somebody, you can speak to him. Now understand, this is his first year, and so he's going to probably tell you he'll have to get back with you, okay? Let me translate that to you. What that means is every day I'm meeting with him, and he'll ask me questions, and I'll answer him, try to help him. I've got to train him to know how to do what we do around here. And so just bear with us as we make these transitions. Same things with Brother Josh. If you have any questions or anything like that and he can't answer it, you always can feel free to call me, and I'd be happy to help you. Because we still want to build a ministry. I'm going to be, hopefully, we'll have these 2 men will become the principals of those 2 areas, and then I can just administrate, and so that's what the idea is. And so we just appreciate just the team that God has brought together for us, and we're very, very thankful for what the Lord has done. And so what this all means is there could be some transitions as we go, even like next year. Maybe next year there'll be an elementary orientation and a junior high and senior high orientation, and we can have the 2 different principals doing both of those orientations. So a lot of changes, a lot of growth, a lot of good things, right? And so we're excited about all of it. All right, well, we wanted to introduce the teachers and the wonderful team that God has given to us. And so we're excited about seeing what God's going to do. Now, we're going to just go over some of the new things and changes and all that and give those things to you right up front and kind of go through these kind of quick. So number one thing here is the app. We have a new app. We have a new website. So if you haven't downloaded the app, make sure you do that. Now, if you download the app, I'm going to pull my phone out and I'm going to look at the app right now, because on the app, the first thing it says is orientation links. It's right there at the top, and you can click on that little orientation link, and you can watch the video. There I am on the video. It's delayed so we can see what I just said just a moment ago. See, it's getting the app right now. I'm pulling that out, and I've got comments. Okay. And so we have that. And I'm just listening. See if all right, let me turn that off. It's confusing me. All right. So anyway, there's a lot of things there on the app. On this orientation links here, there is a teacher information card. Okay, and that is, we used to give you a paper card. You filled that paper card out. Now it's with COVID, and we actually went online, and we kind of like it being online. Okay. The COVID thing with last year not having parents here, not having the orientation like we did, we threw everything online, and that's how we just kind of have kept it. And so it's not a bad thing, but the teacher information card. You can click on that teacher information card, and it brings up some information here that you can fill out, questions about the child, and we need to have all this filled out. So if you have, like me, 4 children in the school, Mrs. Peachin, you too, but if you have multiple children, you have to fill this out for every child, okay? And you had to do it anyway with the card, but you can fill that teacher information card out. That gives us updated information on you, phone numbers, addresses, anything we need to know about the child and those things. Also, on these orientation links, you find the before and after care sign up if you need before care and after care. Let me explain it to you. The school day, your tuition goes from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Okay, 8 to 4 is part of your tuition. If you need anything before 8 o'clock, anything after 4 o'clock, then it's $2.50 per hour, okay? Runs from 7 to 5:30 is the before care and after care, how long it runs to, but that's what the kind of the prices are and all that. If you need that, you need to sign up for it. You say, what if I'm only going to use it 1 day a week? Please sign up for it, all right? Just sign up for it anyway. We only charge you for the days you use it. So but we need you to sign up. Kind of gives us an idea. There's also on the orientation links a music sign up. If you have a child that is in first grade and would like to and above and would like to play the piano, we have piano lessons during school. It's $12 per lesson, and you could sign up for that. If you'd like in 6th grade and up, if you'd like your children to participate in sports, the fall sports are volleyball for the girls and soccer for the boys. Our winter sports are basketball for the girls and boys. And so if you'd like them to sign up, there's a sign up there for sports. I think it depends on how old they are and if they're in varsity or JV, the fees and handbook. And this gives you, it's just more convenient for me. If I have it on my phone, I can access it at any time. If I have a question, I can even hit Control F on a computer, and you can search for it just by doing that. And so all the handbooks right here online, so you can get those things. But please read through that if you have any questions, and you should familiarize yourself with the handbook. Let me make sure I've got everything here about that. Is there any questions about the app? Any questions about the app? Any questions? So you want to download that. The other thing about the app that's nice is the calendar's on here. So you can see the school calendar. There is parent information down at the bottom, which brings up information about the auction. Now, there's something neat about the auction, because that's a big spring fundraiser that we have. We have given you right up front, because I know some parents like getting items in advance, okay? And there is the auction letter, which is a donation letter, which gives you our tax ID number that you can go to businesses, because this is in the spring, but you can download that right away. You can get it. And I asked them for a gift card. Would you give me a gift card, the Texas Roadhouse? And I drop it off. I enter that information in to this, just a simple form that's right up here. Student name, place you went, what you dropped it off, and it puts it into an Excel sheet that is also right here on the app that allows you to see where other parents have gone. So that way we don't have 4 or 5 parents dropping off things at Texas Roadhouse and bombarding them, okay? So, it's very handy to have that on there for our school, but that's one thing on there. It's underneath the auction. Supply lists are on here. The Facebook parent group gives you a link to that. The My School Works portal's on here. I believe on the app is our PTA. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Yeah, there's the PTAs on here. The sports schedule, you can actually, like, where's our first game? Oh, okay, let me see here. First game is soccer and volleyball. The soccer is at our home field over on K Road. Volleyball is at our church in Salisbury. And I can click on the map, and it'll actually take me there. So if I needed to know how to get to the building over here on K Road, or if I needed to know how to get to Salisbury. So it gives me that information as well. And so that's all on there. That's not helpful. We know where we're going here, but some of you have asked before, where's this independent Christian academy over in Clinton, Maryland? Well, it gives you the directions right there. So you can get right there to it, which is all nice. So the app, download the app. Now, there's one thing that you need to do about the app that's very important. In the past years, we have used My Schoolworks as a main way of communicating with parents and sending out messages. And so we may still do that to some extent, but we're going to have to see how many downloads we get on the app, how many parents are actually using it. So we'll probably still use My Schoolworks for a little bit, but we want to move to the app. The app has an option to message, okay? And so we can send out notifications to you. So like we could send out a notification saying, school closed. It'll come through your app. It'll ring just like any other notification that you may get. Okay, so you can see the notifications from the school. There's another neat feature on the app that if you wanted to communicate with a teacher, okay, you could do that through the app. It's called messaging. Now you would have to sign up for an account with what the app is provided by a company called Subsplash, okay? You'd have to sign up with that company, which is just asking you for a username and a password, basically is what you do. You might give your name, first name, or something like that. But it's just ask some basic questions, but then you can begin to message as well. So if I wanted to send as a parent, because I've got students that'll have Brother Finkart, Josh Finkart as a teacher, if I wanted to ask him something, I could go to my app, I could open that up, I could go to the message thing right up in the top right-hand corner, and I could find his name. It'll allow me to search for his name. It should. There he is. I can search, and I can send him a message and ask him things like that. So that's kind of handy. We don't have to give out personal phone numbers and all that kind of stuff if you'd use the app. But some teachers may still do that anyway. But that's all what we want you to do is try to gravitate to that app and use that app, okay? Any questions about it? No questions? We're going to move on, all right? Is there any questions on the stream? Okay. Any other questions, though? All right, I'll get to that in a moment because that's our next thing. So I would get rid of that right now. So let's move on to the next one then. All right, so this is a little bit for our K Road location, and I need to take some time to explain this to you. I'm sorry, elementary, you don't have, this is going to be a little bit of things that you may not necessarily need to know, and this is more for 6th grade and above, all right? So we've moved out to K Road. It's 6th grade through 12th grades moved out here. Now, there's a couple things that you have to be aware of. Right now, we provide transportation from Salisbury. We pick up at a Salisbury Walmart at 8 o'clock. The van comes here, drops off kids at 8:15. Depending on the number of students that need to be transported over to the K Road, we have no idea what that's going to be at this point, but we're either going to run the van if we have 12 passengers or less, or we will run a bus, okay? Now, what we would like to do, instead of running a bus, we would like to run the van. So what we need is your help with this, okay? If you let's take the Peachins. Peachins, you're in Seaford. K Road's actually closer to you than here, okay? So if you would drop your kids off at K Road, the 3 that go over there, and then swing by here and drop off your 1 here, okay? If you can do that, that's helpful to us, okay? Now, if you absolutely can't do that, then the better route to go is to drop them all off here, because we're not running a shuttle from K Road to here, but at 8:15, we will leave this property with either a van or a bus and run it to K Road, okay? So, like with Kira, okay? We would prefer you up in Seaford just to drop her off right over at K Road, not bring her here, Okay? You follow what I'm saying with all that? So if you're up there, Jessica, you have 2 over there. Don't bring them here. Bring them over there. It's closer to you anyway, all right? All right. And so if you can do that, that would be very helpful to us, okay? Because we're going to try to determine how many we have and how many we need to shuttle. So we're ready to run a bus. We're ready to run a van. So it just will really depend on what we have to do to shuttle from this property to K Road. So it's going from 8:15. It'll get over there by 8:30 for sure, and they'll start classes over there at 8:30. Now, does anybody have any questions about that part of it? Because I'm going to go to the next step. At the end, here we go. All right, good question. I'll answer that in just a minute. All right? Well, let me just hit it now. The earliest you can drop off over there, and it doesn't count as part of your, we're doing this, it doesn't count like a before care, it's 7:45. Brother Justin White will be over there at 7:45, okay, every morning. So if you needed to drop off at 7:45, that poses a good question. What if you have kids that you have to drop them off earlier? The morning care and afternoon care will always be here. There will be no morning care or afternoon care over at K Road, okay? So let's say Kira has to get dropped off at 7, which that's not the case, but let's say that was. Then you'd bring her here. She'd jump on the shuttle at 8:15, and we'd take her over to K Road for school, okay? Does that make sense to everybody for the morning? Now, yes? No, that's part of the tuition. That's just, we're doing that. All right, so then at 3:15, over there on K Road, 3:15, school is ending over there at 3:15. Now that's a change. Normally junior high and senior high has ended at what time? 3:30, all right? So we're ending there at 3:15. You can pick up your child from 3:15 to 4 o'clock. We would prefer sooner, 3:15. But if you can't do that, that's all right. So get there when you can, at least before 4. If you're going to be there after 4 o'clock, you need to let the office know so that the office can notify that child, your child, that they have to take the bus at 3:15 over here to stay for aftercare. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So like Kiara, we'll use Kiara again. Kiara is, her mom calls, says, I can't be there today by 4. I need her to go to aftercare. So we notify then Kiara that she has to get on the bus at 3:15 instead of waiting there at K Road because she's coming over here to Laurel. It's all supervised over here because we have a great aftercare program going on over here. So I'll be supervised. But that's how that shuttle's running. So the bus or shuttle will leave from here at 8:15, and it'll leave from there at 3:15. Okay? Let me just check my notes to see if there's anything else I need to tell you. All right. One thing that I wanted to highlight is there's no other shuttled times. That's the 2 times that are going. The earliest you can drop off, we cover that. The latest you can pick up is 4 o'clock. We covered that. Now, a couple other things is home soccer games will be over at our K Road property. Last year we did it at a park in Salisbury, but this year it'll be over at our K Road property. Now, there's one other thing I need to tell you because we've run into, this is where the first, the hiccup in our system has come, and I need to share that with you in a minute. Let me just look here. Okay. All right, yep. All right, so what's happened is we are still waiting. We're waiting for the final approval from the fire marshal for our fire system over there at K Road. We had to put a brand new fire system in. When you use a building like that's over there for a church, you don't need an alarm system, and you don't need the heat sensors and the the pull stations. You don't need that. You just need fire extinguishers when it's used as a church. When you get into it being a school and you're using it more than 6 hours a day and it's every day, you have to have a fire system in it. We went to 2 companies, got estimates from 2 companies. One company was $20,000+ to put this system in. The one we went with was one we have used here and have been great to us, and that was $8,000. So you can probably figure out which one we went to, can't you? Probably the same one you would have gone to. But they, when we submitted our drawings to the fire marshal for the buildings out there, they accepted our handwritten drawings, but they would not accept the fire system handwritten drawings on our plans. He put things on our plans. So then he had to get prints drawn up, and it has taken longer than what we've expected. All right, so as of right now, we've had to go into Plan B, and I know it's not going to happen where Tuesday we're going to be over there at K Road. So what we have done is we're bringing for a week. They're telling us it'd probably be a week. The longest it could be would probably be 2 weeks. So just bear with us, junior high and senior high, because what we are doing is we're going to bring those classes, we're going to be here. We're going to have a classroom here in the auditorium. We're going to have a classroom in the overflow room. We're going to have a classroom in one of the music rooms downstairs, and we're going to have a classroom in the cafeteria. We don't want to do this. We have everything set up over there on K Road. This weekend we've got to move things back over here, and that's not what we want to do, but we're having to do it because we don't have that final approval yet. As soon as that approval happens, we're going to be over on K Road again, okay? So bear with us as this is one of those things. I taught in Bible study. I have a Bible study here on Wednesday nights, and I taught that last night on how to overcome obstacles. I feel like an expert at it right now, or at least trying to attempt to overcome those obstacles. And I was teaching last night on how to overcome obstacles that you cannot control. You know, there's some things we bring on ourselves, all right, but there's some things out of our control. And this is one of those things that's just totally out of our control. There's nothing we could do to make this any different. And now I've told our staff, because our staff doesn't like it. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't necessarily prefer it. But this is the way it is, and God knows it, and so we have to accept it, and so that's just how we're doing it. So that's what's happening there. Now, with that being said, okay, here's that schedule. It's all the same, so we're going to keep it. We don't want to change it on you as parents, and have to train you how to do these extra drop-offs, and then a week or two later, retrain you to do it again. So we're doing everything the same. You drop off over at K Road. We can bring them into the building, okay? We just can't have school there. At 8:45, we'll give you 15 minutes. At 8:45, we're going to take a bus and run a bus from K Road over here to Laurel. The class day starts here at 9 o'clock in the morning, okay? They're going to keep the same exact schedule, but we're not having like the big electives at the end. We've shortened classes by a few minutes as well, but we want them to be able to be in school. The other option was that we go remotely. I didn't want to do that. I've had enough remote, you know. The other option was we had 6th through 8th grade here, and I said, no, we need to have everybody here. And so we're just making it work. So realize that starting on Tuesday, you're going to follow the same exact thing that you always will do the rest of the year. But from 9 a.m. to 2:55, your child will be right here. If you need to pick them up early from school, you come here. That's just next week. All right? If we go into a second week, we'll let you know about that. Be prepared for it, because I think it'll happen. But we'll let you know as we get into it. Okay? It may not happen. Maybe we'll get it all done next week and have the approval of the fire marshal and be able to be over there. But let's prepare, you know, let's just at least know from 9 a.m. to 2:55 they're going to be here. Otherwise, they'll be on a shuttle. If you're going to be late getting them to school, let's look at it like this. If you're late getting them to school, let's say the third day of school, that'll be Tuesday, third day, Thursday. So say Thursday you come and you're not going to get them here till 9:15. Where should you bring them? Right here. Okay, because they're here from 9 o'clock to 2:55. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so I'm sorry about that, but it's one of those things that is out of our control, okay? And then at 2:55, we're going to take them right back over there, and we will, some of them will literally go from here to over there, stay on the bus, because they're going to come back over here for aftercare. But we're trying to keep them in the same routine, and we're trying to make sure they're supervised properly. I don't want them I just don't want them wandering around here with nothing to do, so we're going to keep them on a bus and bus them. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the K Street drop-off, it's from 8:15 to 8:30?
You mean every day, normal? You can drop them off from 7:45 to 8:30. Okay, that's when school starts at 8:30. Well, school starts at 8:30. Okay, this first week, not really. Okay, because at 8:45 we're going to give them 15 minutes, and at 8:45 bring them over here. But this first week, it technically will learning instructions will start at 9. But we don't want you to worry about that. We want you staying in your normal routine. We don't want to change your routine and the students' routine. We're just going to change the students. But we have to let you be aware of it, okay? Any other questions? This is where it gets tricky, and we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what is best here and how to handle this properly. Any other questions about the K Road? We're excited about it, but it's been a little bit of a headache and hassle this summer with it. But I've told the teachers, I said, listen, once we get the approval, we'll never have to get it again. My fire alarm people have told me, they said, you know what, with this system, you could build a castle out there. Said it'll take care of a castle. I said, a castle? He said, whatever you build out there, it'll take care of. So, then it's just a matter of running wires, and that's a whole lot easier than the whole system here. So we shouldn't have to go through this ever again with what we build out there. Yes, ma'am. Okay, that is a great question. So what I'm going to suggest is that you keep things to a bare minimum. We're not going to overload them with all the books. They're going to have to keep their books in a book bag. They don't have lockers here. We're going to work with them very well on all those things. We're not going to penalize them if they forget this or that, if it's within certain supplies. So we will, because it's moving, and we're going to work with them, okay? But I would say they have to keep their book bags on them at all times. They're going to have their books with them. So realize we probably won't load them down with, all of their textbooks at one point, and because they're going to have to keep them in the book bag. Now, there was something with that, though. We were going to ask you to bring your books, book bags. If they come to see the property tomorrow, bring it out tomorrow so they can pick up their books then. If not, we will give it to them on Tuesday morning. That'll be part of when they get there. We can have their books ready to give to them. Okay, and then they can put them in their book bag. But that's how that'll work. And then they can bring them right over. They'll bring them right over here. Because all of the books and stuff over there, we don't want to bring all those books back over here for classes. We just would rather give it to them over there and then get over here. Okay? Any other questions? I'm sorry to give all that to you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, are you talking about the first week of school or? That's a good question. That's a very good question with volleyball, because you're thinking that way probably more, I'm sure. All right, so Mrs. Larmer will give you all that instructions on what's going on with the volleyball, okay? I believe what our plan is there will be a certain day that some of the players will play over there in open court, okay? And then there may be a day where the varsity team plays over here, and so she will let you know where you need to pick them up, okay? Am I right by that? All right. So that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. And so like this week, okay, this upcoming week, if they're practicing outside, we will shuttle them over at the end of school, and then they'll just go right to practice, and you'll pick them up from over there. But on Thursday, if she has a practice and she brings the varsity over here, then she'll let you know they'll be right here. Yep. Okay. Good question. Very good question. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. Next one. Let's go to the next slide. That's COVID. What are we doing with the COVID update? All right. We've come to a point where in the state of Delaware, you're aware that the governor wants masks on children from kindergarten on up. And so what we had, there were several Christian schools that really objected to the governor's mandate on this because of the overreach, what they felt like. There was an overreach with the mask into the private schools that did not get state funding. Is this a COVID question? Okay, good idea. You're very good. Thank you. I'll try to remember to do that. If I don't do that, you remind me. But anyway, because there were several Christian schools, so many of them said they just weren't going to They decided they wanted the control to be in the parents. So if you wanted your child to wear a mask, your child could wear a mask. If you did not want your child to wear a mask, they didn't have to wear a mask. And that was where we were. They started sending out nice notes. The Department of Health and Social Services, or the Health Department, started sending out nice letters saying that they would fine schools $1,000 a day if they didn't comply. And so that's not, to me, it's not worth it. So what we're doing is we are going back to what we did last year. And last year was the restaurant style, okay? Now, we're going to what I mean by restaurant style. When they walk around the halls, they wear a mask. When they sit down in their desk, they do not wear a mask. Now, I do want to tell you a couple things. I just want to tell you a few things in regards to this. Number one, somebody might say, well, that's not what the governor wants. Well, let me tell you, the health department came in and evaluated us last year, okay? Somebody had complained, and they came in. They said we weren't making the kids wear masks all the time or something like that. And they came in, evaluated the school. They asked us what we did. We said we do temperature checks. We're still doing that. We told them we sanitize. We're still doing that. In fact, we have an electrostatic sanitizing system now. I think that's what it's called. And so we're doing that. We've stepped that game up. We told them that we tried to social distance when we could. We still will try to do that to some extent. And we told them about the mask, and they approved the mask. So in the midst of the pandemic, before there were any vaccines, this was back in like October when they came out, they approved our system of doing it. Okay, they said we were doing what we could do. If they come back to us and say that, no, that's not good enough, then we may have to look at our policy again. Okay, just realize this, all right? Now, I will tell you some things, okay? One headmaster of an academy, I was reading the emails that were coming through, asked the question, how do we enforce it? Are we going to call the authorities and have them come in if a child refuses to wear a mask? Okay, and I can tell you, we're waiting on an answer on how to enforce it. I'm not calling the police department here and having them come and put a mask on a child. We're not doing that. I can just tell you that. But the health department's not giving us an answer on how we can enforce it. Okay? The second thing is that if there is a medical reason that your child cannot wear a mask, then it doesn't say you have to have from the Delaware thing, doesn't say that you have to have a doctor's note. You as a parent could submit a letter to the school stating that for medical reasons that you don't want your child to wear a mask. And we would have to accept that letter. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Now, this doesn't apply to preschool. And I don't know about kindergarten. I've read kind of two things, if K-5 is in that 5-year-old or what. But you could write a letter, and you could say, I don't, for medical reasons. You say, what would be the medical reason? Okay, I could tell you one. My daughter, Leah, went to the dentist, and I'm not telling you to do this, but my daughter, Leah, went to the dentist, and her dentist said there's been an increase in cases with children having problems with their teeth because they have to wear a mask. They're wearing a mask more. Could be just because they're having Coke and candy and all that stuff, soda and all that. But that's what they said, there's a rise in that. So, you could give a letter and send a letter in, and that is complying with the state, what the state has given to us, okay? Is there any questions about that? Let me say this. It doesn't say the health reason. It doesn't say the medical reason. The medical reason, what I was told by someone that I trust, is that the health reasons could even be if there would be any mental hurt to that child for masking up. Now, I do believe there could be some of that, okay? I think studies have shown some of that could be true. So you just have to use your own discretion as a parent. I'm just throwing some things out there to give you some thoughts. You follow what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you some thoughts on how to do it. But as far as what we're doing as a school, our official policy is that we're going to go to what we did last year, if that makes sense. That makes sense to everybody? Good. Any questions? I'm kind of tired of all the COVID questions. They don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. I think I read one point that 3, 4, and 5-year-olds don't have to wear masks. Then I was reading something today that said 5-year-olds do. Does anybody know? Any of you medical, maybe you could look, see? Anybody could look to tell me what it says? And then we can answer that real quick. But anyway, that's how we're doing it. So I don't understand some things. I don't understand in that case, like, why doesn't COVID, what's the big physical difference between a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old? I can't, or a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. There's some things I don't understand. That's why I don't understand why, Maryland, 7 miles down the road here, they don't have to put their children in a mask, and yet across the line. These are personal questions I've asked myself, tried figuring out myself. Does COVID just live north of the Mason-Dixon line or something, and not live, and I try not to be, I don't want to be funny, or don't seem to be funny with it, because I realize people are getting sick, and it is serious. And so I'm not trying to make light of it, but there are questions that I do ask myself. So anyway. All right, let's move on if that's it. Any other COVID questions? Okay, good. Any questions online? All right, good. We're good. All right, next slide is this one, new parking lot. All right, procedures and dismissal times. So we've got some changes in the dismissal. You know how it is when we had 120 plus kids here in the school, how the parking lot can be at times. Our parking lot people have done a great job at moving traffic through, and sometimes I'd come up here at 3:35 as a parent picking up my kids, and there's nobody in the parking lot. And I thought, praise God, I don't have to wait in that long line. But there's sometimes when it's backed all the way up to the road, and we find out a teacher has not dropped off their kid, didn't bring their kids on time, and I get in there and I make sure the teachers get their kids in the thing for all that. So, and there have been the cases, a few things like that has happened. But for the most part, they do an awesome job at dismissing. But with more students here, it means more cars. So we've cut our preschool day and kindergarten day shorter. It's no longer 8:30 to 3:30. It is now 8:30 to 3. Okay? They can still be here, part of your tuition, till what time? 4. That's right. So don't panic and think, well, now aftercare is going to start for my preschool kids at 3:30. No, it'll start at 4. All right? We have places for them to go, but we would prefer them to get picked up at 3 o'clock. What we also prefer is if you come in, that you pull into the lane closest to the building. That's where preschool and kindergarten, we want them to be closest to the building, even if it loops around. And then at the 3 o'clock dismissal, try to be in the first 2 lanes, okay? Because some people will get here, let's say there will be a preschool parent that might get here at 3:20. Well, they should be able to get right out, but there could be some others that get in. There's some parents that get here early, and I understand it, but this is how we need it to go for this year. So there's a dismissal for K3 to K5 at 3. 1st through 5th grade is going to dismiss here. 6th through 12th grade dismisses there at 3:15. You can pick your children up there at 3:15. Does that make sense to everybody? All the new dismissal times. All right? It's still part of your tuition from 8 to 4. Okay? That you don't get charged extra if they stay in those places. Okay? No questions. Good. All right. One of the big things that helps, I'm sorry, right here. That's all right. Mm-hmm. No, you could pick them both up at 3:30, and we have cases like that. That's where you're like, what happened is I would say to tell the teacher, okay, what's the teacher probably already figure that out. They're smart, and so with that, they'll figure that out, and they'll know to take. Is it a boy? Okay, they'll take your son and keep him where the kindergarten and preschool kids are going while they wait, either going in aftercare or waiting for a sibling, and then you can pick them both up at 3:30. So we're trying to do what we can to accommodate every parent in here, and it gets tricky. But yes, in that case, 3:30 is when you can pick them up. Just realize if you want to pick them up earlier, you could, could pick him up at 3, take him over here to Smash and Dash, get some ice cream, bring him back with a nice big ice cream cup, empty, so his sister can see that you took him over there, and she would love it, I'm sure. All right. Yes? All 3:30, that's right. That's exactly right. Good question. And I don't know if I repeated her question, but we kind of answered it. All right, any other questions? All right, good. Barbecue fundraiser starts September 17th. This is a big fundraiser thing for us in the school. Last year, I think we sold in the fall 1,300 pieces of chicken. That's a lot of chicken, but we did it. This year, we have ordered with Mount Air about 1,400 pieces of chicken, and they have donated 1,400 to us already. So we've got that big donation. That's a blessing from Mount Air. Mount Air has been good to us, and so we're thankful for that. But this is a big fundraiser. We'll give you more information, but we wanted to let you know about it coming up on the 17th. A couple ways you can help the school. Speaking of fundraisers, there's the fall fundraiser. Have your child participate in that. But also we do box tops here, and Amazon Smile is coming soon. We started Amazon Smile, I think, a couple years ago, last year. But the federal ID number for the school right now is the church's federal ID number. And so when you went to type in Bayview Christian School, you could never find it. So you'd have to type in Bayview Baptist Church, and then some parents, and I get it, they might say, well, I don't want to help the church. How do I know the money's going not to the church, to the school? Well, to me, that wouldn't have been a big deal, but I get it from others. So what we've done this summer is we're in the process right now, and it should be all together by the first of the year. That'll be the 2022, January 2022. We'll probably have it before then. The school now has its own official nonprofit status. It'll have a separate EIN number and all those things. And so we can sign up for the Smile. We may have to modify that. If we get it soon enough, we'll modify the auction letter with the school's EIN number on it. It's never been a problem to use the churches for donations, but the school will have its own nonprofit status. And so we'll be able to get that Smile, and you should be able to search Bayview Christian School and order like that. PTA, are you guys got an announcement for us? Or no, you're just here? You're here?
First meeting, September 14th, 7 o'clock here.
So the 14th, and it's at 7.
That's 7.
And there's a game that night.
Yes.
There's a game.
So just hit here right after.
Come right here. You going to feed us?
We will have refreshments.
Oh, right. You will, really? Okay, good. That's the first one. And so, do you want to get up and announce anything? You can have the floor if you'd like to. Okay.
But I will need help this year with concession stand. So because we have sports in 2 different locations, usually I run this concession stand by myself because my kids are there. But my kids don't play soccer. My kids I have all girls, so they all play volleyball except for my little one. There's 1 year you have all 4. So I'm going to need help from soccer parents to have drinks and all that. So it's all there. But I will need help this year because I can't be in 2 places at once. And I need to see my girls play too. So
There's a sign up on the parent-teacher page on Facebook.
Great. All right, so the parent-teacher page. You can't do that? You can't be in 2 places?
I would love to.
Huh. Yeah.
I think my girls will be a little upset.
I told the teachers the other day, because they were asking about our teachers' meetings, how we were doing teachers' meetings, and some of them believed me at first. But what I told them is, I said, I'm going to be here, and they're going to do this computer app that's going to actually, what is it called? The hologram. I'm going to be hologrammed over there, and in person. And they actually, some of them believed me. I couldn't believe it. They were like looking at me like, wow, that is neat. But no, you can't make yourself 2 places at once. But the PTA is a tremendous, tremendous help to our donation of what? 15? Is that what it is? $10, $15 to become a member of the PTA, and then you can help the work with, your voice could be heard in the PTA meetings and those types of things. But they've just done a tremendous job. So that first meeting is the 14th of September, and so right here. Is it in the room? We'll be right here. Good. All right. Any questions about the PTA? Next question is My School Works. All grades and things we filter through a program called My School Works. You can find the link to that on the app. Click the button, you'll get an account. Do they already have accounts, Sammy, new parents? They already have them? Okay, so if you don't and you're a new parent and you're here and you do not have an account with My School Works for some reason, you can see Samantha back there. I didn't introduce the two secretaries. I do apologize for that, but that's three. We have three, actually. That's Samantha. Samantha's over all the bookkeeping. Sammy, wave at them, all right, so they'll know who you are. She handles all the money and all the admissions and all those things. So if you get mad at anybody, don't get mad at me, get mad at her, all right? I'm just telling you. And then Hannah, she's the nice one in the group, okay? Because Sammy's the mean one and Hannah's the nice one, you know. I'm just teasing. They know I'm teasing. They work with me every day, so they deal with it. But Hannah is also there in the office. And then Katie, where's Katie? Katie, back there in the sound booth, she's over on the K Road property. So she'll be the K Road secretary over there. If you need to pick up questions, drop off, any of that, you'll be able to do that. We've got a new phone system this year that's coming in. It's being transferred over right now. It's not there yet. There'll be an automated message if you call it. It's kind of neat because if the office can't answer it here, it rings over to K Road. And if K Road doesn't answer it over there, then it'll go to Brother Josh's phone. If he doesn't answer it, then it'll go to Brother White's phone. And if he doesn't answer it, it comes to my phone. So we've got a system that somebody should be able to answer the phone at all times, all through the computer, but it's automated. That's a new thing that we've done here for the school as well. So we're trying to stay on top of the calls that come in. But the secretaries, we wouldn't be able to do it without them. And so Katie actually handles all the demerits. So you really get mad at your kids and her. She's the one you get mad at with that. So I've got two mean secretaries and one nice one, all right? All right, next. Invoicing. The systems work great for us. You should already have gotten an invoice about your September 1st payment. If you have any questions about this, how this works, you get an invoice, what, Sammy, the 20th, 25th? 20th. You'll get an invoice to your mailbox. It'll say your September tuition is due. You can click that button, and you can pay it right there from your phone. You don't have to come into the office anymore. If you'd like to come in and meet the two mean secretaries and the one nice one, you can. But if you'd just like to stay in your car or at home and pay your tuition, you can do it that way. If you need your tuition broken down into weekly payments, they can do that. Bi-weekly, they can do that. Monthly is what we prefer. If you want to pay it all up front, you can do that. However you want to do it, we'll take it. But the system seemed to work real well for us, and it keeps everybody updated. Any questions about that? Yes, ma'am.
Not about that, but I forgot something.
Okay.
Christy's watching online, so she's like, I forgot to mention. September 15th is our Chick-fil-A day. So we get $1 for every person that goes to the drive-thru, dine-in, or carry out from 5 to 7, comes towards Bayview.
Okay, so they'll get a card, a
No,
coupon?
It's from that time period, even if they don't belong to the school, if they go through the drive-thru, eat in, or carry out, it's $1.
Wow. What day is that?
September 15th.
September 15th. So that's a Wednesday. Is that a Wednesday? Is that when that is?
Yes.
Chick-fil-A?
It's a Wednesday. We thought they could go to Chick-fil-A for dinner and come to church at 6. 7.
That's right. Yeah, that's safer. Yeah, I could eat there almost every day because I'm in love with Chick-fil-A. Are you in love with Chick-fil-A? They're expensive, but, good food there, huh? All right. Let me go on to the next one here. T-shirts and things you can purchase. We've got two options for you. You could get something through the store here, or if you didn't want to pay shipping and wait 3 weeks to get T-shirts for Jim, you can go on. Is there a link on the page as well? Okay. All right, but is there a link to any of that? We should get it. It's on the teacher page, isn't it? Okay. Okay, you can go to the parent-teacher page on Facebook, and there's a link on how you can get it. Mr. Peachin is making shirts and sweatshirts and things like that. He's made some nice ones, and you can order them, and the money that comes in, he actually gives back to the school. So he covers the cost for his stuff, and then he gives some back to the school. And so if you'd like to order from this company, they do the same thing. You'll wait a lot longer, and you'll have to pay shipping. I don't know what he does for shipping. What's he do? Just brings it here and you can pick it up.
So,
That's perfect.
and I do know there are some orders we have out. We just got our gray shirts like yesterday, so we'll be making those this weekend. So they'll be here Tuesday. But I mean, his plan is he's off Mondays and Tuesdays, so his plan is to make them and get them here to Bayview. So when you go on the website for the shipping, just there's an option for, I don't know what it says exactly, but like pick up in person or local delivery or something like that. And that way it doesn't charge you shipping. And so I know some orders came through and he was like, oh, they did shipping. So we did mail our first mailing ever for our company, but we did mail one customer a shirt. They should hopefully have it by now, but just do it local and he'll get it here, within a couple of days as long as the shirts and stuff.
Okay, good. So you can help local company, local business, and I like that, and a parent of the school. So to help them helps us, and you save money. I can tell you they're cheaper than some of the stuff you get on that store. And that's a nice store. We did that last year, but I'm glad the Peachins were offered this service to us as well. So you can get it one way or another. All right, and then tomorrow, last thing I have is open house is tomorrow. You can come anytime from 9 to 12. All right, that's the first block. Give them an hour lunch break. 1 o'clock, you pick back up, 1 to 3. You give them an hour dinner break from 3 to 4, and then at 4 to 7. Okay, you can stop in at any time, see the classrooms. You can come here or over at the Cave Road property. What were the times? I'll tell you again. 9 to 12, remember an hour for lunch. 1 to 3, an hour for dinner. 4 to 7. All right, and you can just come on over there. There'll be somebody there to greet you at K Road. We'll take you to the different classes. You can meet the teachers, see the classrooms, and then same thing right here. Okay? Any questions about that? Any questions about that? You can bring the child here and get there, see their classroom, meet the teacher, and all those fun things. Somebody asked tonight, can you come into the building and walk your kid to class first day of school? The answer to that is yes. We didn't do it last year. We are allowing it this year. Okay? So if you'd like to do that, I'm sure Gage will love it. And, yeah, yes. Yeah, that's a good thing. Maybe park in the middle of the parking lot if you're here, okay? Any other questions for me? Yes? We do. Yeah, now hold it. Let me take that back. While they are here, nobody will have microwaves while the junior high and high school kids are here. But by the second week, you'll have microwaves. We'll send out a notification to your app. Microwaves will be available. But the first 2 weeks, the elementary students, because we have to have a classroom in the gym, the elementary students are eating in their classrooms the first 2 weeks. And so now, granted, if we had a major breakout of COVID, let me just say this, if there was a major breakout, we would have to go back and pull in on some things. So then we wouldn't have microwaves. But unless we have something like that, then, if that happens, then we may have to make some modifications. But as of right now, we're planning on having microwaves. And that is, I'd say this, realize that microwaves are helpful for older kids because when you have some of these teachers have several elementary students, and they can't use the microwave. So I know there were times Mrs. Albright, bless her heart, she didn't get to eat lunch hardly because she was heating up children's food the whole time. And it's a lot because she can't hit the 1 minute, she can, but the kids can't hit it at first grade or second grade. So we would actually prefer younger kids not to use the microwave so much, but if they can hit a button on a microwave, do it. Now, we always have the kid every year, sometimes twice, 3 times a year, that doesn't put the water in the macaroni. And we have the horrible burnt macaroni smell going through our building here. And it always happens. Or burnt popcorn, that's right. Burnt popcorn or burnt macaroni. That's true, we do. We have popcorn machines, that's nice. All right, any other questions for me? We've been an hour and 5 minutes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have microwaves at K Road, microwaves here. anything that was available here or there, here it's going to be there pretty much. Any other questions? Okay, well, that's it for tonight. If there's no more questions. Any questions online? Thank you for your patience and thanks for being here. If you have any questions, just please ask us. We're here for you, okay? All right, well, let's be dismissed. Lord, thank you for the meeting and our time together, and please dismiss us now and give us a good first week of school. Lord, help the fire marshal to be able to get in and get the approvals that we need, and so that we can get back to our normal schedule by the end of the first week. God, you're able to do that. So, Lord, we just give that to you and ask that you'd work there and give us a good first start of the school year and a great year this year. Use the teachers and bless the parents and the students. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. One nice thing about the app is you could, like say grandparents, there's some grandparents that help you. They can get the app and they'll get notified. So it's a tremendous tool. I forgot to say that earlier, but the app is very helpful if you're, that can help grandparents or aunts and uncles know the things going on at the school here.
For the book fair, are you still doing the book fair?
Yes, that's usually in March. But yes, that'll be going on.
Is it going to be set up at both?
It's a good question. We haven't thought of that. But on September 14th at the PTA, you come and ask that question, we'll answer it. Right, ladies? There are some things like that we haven't even thought that far yet. We've been doing it all week where we say, man, we haven't even thought that far. And we'll get it. This year is going to be a transition year. If we seem like we're a little confused, the way that things happen sometimes is we learn this year. It'll be a learning year for us. And then that machine will get running up again. But God's given us a tremendous amount of students. And so we believe, it's going to be a great year. So, all right. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good night.